You know, today we keep hearing a word thrown around, and that word is czar. And I'd like to take a few minutes and talk about the word czar. You know, if you don't know what these things are, then you don't understand the little code that's behind their existence. The word czar is the Russian word for Caesar. You know, the Russian kingship fathomed itself to be the extension of the Holy Roman Empire, and thus they put their king under the title Caesar, as did Kaiser Wilhelm, which the word Kaiser means Caesar also. But let's go back to the beginning of this word Caesar. The word Caesar is the last name for a man named Julius Caesar, who was a great Roman emperor. Now, Julius Caesar was killed by the Roman Senate in 43 BC. That's 43 BC because as Roman emperor, he took over the republic and created a dictatorship. Not only a dictatorship in force, but in function. He took away the voice of the Senate and became the total, complete dictator, which according to Socrates is the natural course for the direction of a republic. It starts as a republic, goes to being a democracy, and ends up as a dictatorship. However, the Roman Senate was angry that Julius Caesar, a fellow senator, given some little bit of war powers, would then use those powers to take over Rome itself. Now, the last name Caesar was a family name. And they began to apply the name Caesar to every dictator that came down the line, even to those who were not related to Julius Caesar. So that the actual name became the name of the title, Caesar. So that the person was called the Caesar, instead of it just being a last name like Smith. It's as if this country, if taken over by a dictator with the last name Smith, would then from then on call that position the Smith, or the Caesarship, or the Smithship. And that's what happened. But I think there's a warning here. When we see the czar over this, or the Caesar over that, we have to think in terms of what it means for Caesar to rule. Because these Caesars, these little Caesars, appear to be as corrupt as any of the Caesars that ever ruled in Rome. And having read a lot about the Roman Empire and a lot about the corruption that was found in Rome, it appears that we're determined to repeat this corruption through the use of these Caesars. Now, our president doesn't dare call himself Caesar, but he has called these other guys Caesars, because he said the word czar, and czar means Caesar. It's like calling a cow a bovine and telling people that it's not a cow, it's a bovine. And the purpose and function of Caesarship is to take out of the hands of the republic the rulership of themselves and to place it in the hands of an oligarchy or a few. In the days of Julius Caesar, it was in the hands of one. Today, it's in the hands of an elitist oligarchy of people we're told are absolutely the cream of the crop educationally in our country and are beyond any ability to touch or stop for what the things they do. In fact, these Caesars have such positions that for the most of them, we don't even know how much money they make per year. There's nobody who has overview over them. And apparently Obama himself, who keeps appointing them, acts as if he's never even heard of them. They're not appointed by the government. They're appointed by one man. These Caesars are part of the destruction of our society. The very fact that they're called Caesar should be a warning to everyone out here that they intend to take apart the republic. That they intend to establish self-rule of themselves, of the oligarchy over the rest of us. And herein lies the warning. It's vital that we understand these things. It's vital that we realize what's going on to our republic. Just like Cicero in his letter to Milo. It's very important that we understand what's taking apart this government. The independent use of power in the midst of a people that were supposed to be a self-ruled people. We are a self-ruled people, and we've yielded up that rulership, not only to state, but to federal entities that the Constitution warned us about. In fact, the Constitution severely limited the federal government's power, and we have constantly yielded that to the point that now we have a president who's appointed some 35 Caesars over areas of our life that are answered to nobody but himself. But when they get caught with their pants down, he pretends like he doesn't even know who they are. But yet he is the one who brought about their appointment. So I'm going to warn you, you are losing your republic now, minute by minute. It doesn't even matter if these are good men and women. You will lose your republic because of their very existence. Their very existence is a corruption and a destruction of self-rule. And just like Marshall McLuhan outcried back in the early 50s about the television, that it didn't really even matter what was on there, was the idea that you were spending your life in front of an electronic machine that was going to destroy your life. I'm telling you now, it doesn't even matter if these are good men and women. But the very fact that they're outside of the purview of the American people and are not part of the elected government, and they still have governing powers, makes them a partial destruction that will lead to the eventual complete destruction of our republic and yield us into the hands of a dictator, a despot, who desires to rule and control our everyday lives, our every area of our lives. I'm warning you, you must understand that it's not by accident that they're called Caesars or czars. It's not by accident that they have this incredible power. You need to wake up and understand this before you become a man or a woman in chains. The path to freedom is the path to self-rule. The path to slavery is the path to rule by Caesars.